I'm continuing my videos about movies that I watch last Christmas, November and December. Most are Hallmark movies, but there's some other Christmas movies that I watched. I'm drinking my green smoothie. The movie that I wanted to talk about is Our Holiday Story. The younger couple, their names are Chris and Joe. The older couple, their names are Dave and Nell. Both stories occur, it's a parallel story. One occurred in the past, the other occurs currently. And the story that occurs in the past, it's being told to Chris through Joe's parents. Chris and Joe are going to Joe's parents' house for Christmas. Chris arrives first, and Joe, his girlfriend, is trying to tell him how to talk to her parents because there's certain things that she doesn't want him to mention. She wants to tell him not to ask them how they met, but she's not able to tell him this information because something happens with the phone or something. There's some kind of a disconnect, so she can't relay this to him. When Chris arrives at Joe's parents' house, they start talking, and it does come up about how they met. Dave and Nell, they meet on a train. They kind of hit it off. He discovers that Nell likes fruitcake. They make an impromptu stop. The train has to stop for some reason. So there's a fruitcake stand outside of the place where they stopped. And like I said, this stop was unexpected, and they think the train is going to be sitting there for a long time. So Dave says to Nell, there's that your favorite fruitcake, because they've gotten to know each other a little bit on this train ride. I'm going to go buy you one of those fruitcakes. She's like, okay. He gets off the train to buy the fruitcake. While he's at the stand getting the fruitcake, whatever kind of problem the train was having, it's rectified. And they unexpectedly leave. They pull away, and Nell goes to the window to go try and hail Dave down, but it's not successful. They miss each other. So she doesn't know they just don't know how to contact each other. So they're separated. But Dave does some kind of a Christmas market type of thing, and Nell has something to do with budgeting and finance for things within that town in which they live. So they live close by, but they don't really realize that they have a connection. Even though they've met on the train, they don't know the true scope of their connection until later when Dave is working on the Christmas market. There's stuff he wants to do. Nell has to put a damper on that because she's in charge of the money. She knows that there's certain limitations. Basically, she's his nemesis. It turns out that they're enemies, but during this time, they just happen to run into each other on the street. They're about to reconnect, and then they're separated again, unexpectedly. There was some kind of one of them was going into a coffee shop or something. I can't remember specifically because I watched this movie like a month and a half ago. But they're separated, and then they reconnect later, and then there is disharmony between them when they find out that he's the Christmas market organizer and she's the one that's holding him back from doing what he wants to do. So everything gets rectified by the end because it's a Hallmark movie. Now, what I wanted to point out, I believe he was married before because he's got a daughter, and his daughter, he's been married before, and I think he's friends with his ex-wife. I think the ex-wife might even come in at the beginning for a little while, if I'm not mistaken. Apologies in advance if that's not accurate, because like I said, there's a lot of Hallmark movies. There's a certain sameness to all of them, but I believe he was married, but he's divorced. And Nell, the daughter, Joe, is actually Nell's stepdaughter, not her biological daughter. And also they talk about Chris and Joe's relationship, that's another thing that you see going on. They have their own set of issues that they're working through during the story. You should read it. It's a cute movie. Is it my favorite? No, but it is cute. Am I anxious to see it again? No, but it was entertaining enough. And as I always do when I talk about Christmas movies, I have to talk about my holiday romance book bundle. You will love them. One of the main stories in this bundle is Butterscotch Bliss. Butterscotch Bliss is the story about Raquel and Patrick. Raquel was told that her father died when she was a baby. She receives a mysterious phone call one evening stating that her father is alive and he must see her before he dies because he's in hospice. She's stunned and hurt, and she thinks that it's a prank call at first, but the caller knows something so deep and intimate about her that she knows it's legit. It's something that only a parent or a medical doctor or a really close friend would know about. So, just as she receives this news, Patrick, her ex-boyfriend, walks into her coffee shop because she's in her coffee shop when she receives this life-changing news. And he left 3 years ago. Patrick left. He abandoned her. He went back home to Ireland, and now she didn't realize he was back in town. So she finds out at this moment when he walks into her coffee shop. He finds her. She's upset and crying, and he doesn't understand what's going on. When she tells him, he wants to help her because she's got to go to get to her dad before he passes away. There's a massive snowstorm going on. All the airports are closed. Some of the roads are shut down. Patrick's got this big, powerful vehicle that can go through the snow and take her to her dad. And she doesn't drive, so she has to rely on Patrick for help. So during this road trip, during a Christmas snowstorm, they find out things about each other. Their secrets are revealed. It is a heartwarming, closed-door, romantic story. All the stories are romantic, closed-door, heartwarming. If you like Hallmark movies, then you must check out this book bundle. I will leave the link in the comments. If you have seen our holiday story, what did you think about it? If you had any favorite parts to the movie, let me know what your favorite scene was. I would be interested in knowing that. Thanks for listening and have an awesome day.